space. I need some time to feel free and enjoy.
Yes guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, more importantly keeping loved ones, family, friends and relatives alike all indoors, as you would have heard through every part of social media, every news bulletin and all over media. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here for a lighter form of entertainment for your viewing pleasure, hopefully. Anyway, you'll be seeing this on the following Sunday. Is Tuesday the 24th, 6 o'clock right now, and I'm going to be putting this out because it'll be probably a little bit of a longer edit. Hopefully it's not a longer video. Obviously I know you guys don't sort of seem to like that type of video, so I'm going to try and keep it condensed, but tell you what I have got going on. The video title would give it away. Obviously, team of the season so far, those that have performed to such an exemplary standard and set the standard for what has got to be met within a Premier League side and within the Premier League itself. So it's a credit to these players in the 11. As I go through the 11, you'll notice that I pick 2 players per position. That's because I believe it gives more of an opportunity for the players that maybe wouldn't get a look in, kind of just the players that have gone unsung, kind of, you know, the unsung heroes of the teams, the likes of like David Luiz, Joel Matip, kind of, you know, Marcos Alonso, those type of players that don't necessarily get kind of mentioned week in, week out, but they put the standard to a high level. But without further ado, obviously, before we get into this video right now, the video is not going to continue before you hit the like button. Hit it in the next 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, so if you hit it, that's great. And obviously, if you can drop a like on it, let me know down in the comments what else you want to see, because obviously we're not having football for the next sort of, well, for the foreseeable future. I would be very, very appreciative if you could subscribe and drop a like on the video. Let me know what you want down in the comments. This is going out on IGTV as well, so if you could do the same on IG, that'd be great as well. We've just hit 300 and over 350 followers on Instagram, so very much appreciated all of you lot that put up with my antics. But yeah, I promise I would keep this kind of, you know, this kind of standard, this kind of edit. The standard is not going to slack from now on. You have my word, Olive Sims, that's an oath. But yeah, as I go through the team, you'll notice, as I said, 2 players per position. Starting with goalkeeper, obviously, what better place to start? I mean, I could go from front to back or back to front, whichever, but we're going to go from back to front. Edison has got to be one of the goalkeepers, because he's just an outstanding goalkeeper in terms of his ability, and he continues to outdo himself in terms of the standard that he sets. That going very much similar in terms of Alisson. They both play for obviously Manchester City and Liverpool respectively, both fellow countrymen, so they both want to outdo each other in terms of the standard and in terms of obviously the team's performance as a whole, so, and their individual performance, obviously none more so. But those are the 2 goalkeepers I've gone with and it doesn't really bear explaining, to be quite honest, why, because they've both been, I believe they're both the best goalkeepers in the world, both of them 2. Yes, 2 of them. I think there's no one that can really hold a torch to them, or hold a candle, wherever the saying is. I think if they're a part of any side, they save any side, whatever the defence is, whatever the midfield is, whatever the attack is. They saved any side a vast amount of points throughout the season, as they have done through Liverpool and Manchester City respectively, or Manchester City, Liverpool respectively. Moving from right to left, 2 Liverpool players form the kind of starting place and reserve place of the right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold, again, much like Alisson and Edison, obviously different position, but the form has been exemplary, and the form from years and years has been just absolutely incredible. He's, you know, both very, very young. I've gone with Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously, as I mentioned, and also Joe Gomez. I know he's not a respected sort of right back, or a kind of resident right back as such, or whatever the word currently fails me, but that kind of, he's not a recognised, that's the word, not a recognised right back, but me personally, I would stick him out at right back because the two centre backs or the four centre backs for the two positions that I've picked are too good not to put in the side. Me personally, and obviously in keeping with the Liverpool theme, moving from right to left, going from into the first of those centre backs, the two of the first position, I've gone with Virgil van Dijk because I just believe, well, every team should have a Virgil van Dijk in there, or something similar of the type of style of player he is. The organisation, the passion, the determination, the grit, the leadership. Words don't do justice to just how good Virgil van Dijk is as a defender. He comes up with important goals and does bits, as they say. He's just man is on fire all the time. Kind of in a second position or second, like assistant type role, I guess, if you could call it that. I don't know if that's ever been a thing, but it is a thing now. I've gone with David Luiz. Controversial as it may be, obviously I'm an Arsenal fan, but I believe the kind of, I don't know, the experience and the reaction and the just that he had, basically, the reaction and the experience that he's brought has changed Arsenal's defence. Not for as where we want to be right now, but it has certainly changed in many ways. That being, we've not conceded as many, still conceding goals, but not many in vast volumes. But moving from to the next centre back, obviously partnering Virgil van Dijk would be Kegler Soyuncu. I think he's been stand up for Leicester, and I think, to be quite honest, deserving of his place in this team of the season so far, because again, last year exemplary standard, amazing high standard to and he's, if not bettered that this year, so, and that's reflected where Leicester are in the league at the moment. I've gone with Robertson and Chilwell, believe it or not. I know a lot of you are probably not thinking that, and not thinking about, and probably forgetting about Chilwell, but again, an English left back, that is very, very hard to come by these days. That are really, really decent English left back, set piece taker, tidy on the ball, just great tackler, great dribbler. To be quite honest, well-rounded left back. And that's reflected upon. I mean, for those of you who play FIFA, that's reflected upon his card on FIFA. But and if I didn't already, Kegler Soyuncu's kind of reserve would be Joel Matip. I think I already did mention it, but if I didn't, that's obviously, kind of, there's two players per position. Moving into the midfield, we've got a midfield four for the two positions. Kevin De Bruyne, well, words don't do justice, just explain how easy he makes football look. He's incredible. If you're a Chelsea fan, you're looking at him thinking, what might have been, and it's the same with, quite a few players in terms of even Arsenal. We're looking at like Serge Gnabry and stuff like that. But getting back to KDB, it's just you've got to have VVD and KDB in the same team, because that's just a written rule in football. I mean, I've got them in my FIFA Ultimate Team, and they are absolutely incredible, an integral part to any team, an integral part to their respective teams, and Kevin De Bruyne is just that. He personally, in my eyes, deserves Player of the Year for his last year and what he has done this year. The other two, or other three should I say, is Granit Xhaka. I mean, from what the position he was in with Arsenal fans at I think it's the Palace game, when it all kicked off, he reached breaking point, and whatever, and the fans didn't help themselves at all, and made us look like an absolute laughing stock. I don't agree with what Granit did, but it was what the fans were doing weeks and months and in advance that pushed him to that. Only a human being will only take so much. I don't care what anyone else says. That's just a fact of life. But the Chelsea duo I've gone for in the second midfield slot would be Mason Mount, because I think he's, along with most of the other players that I've got, or the English players that I've got coming up, are an integral part to our international side, and they are an integral part to their club side. So I've gone with Mason Mount and Jorginho. I believe I've pronounced that right. Jorginho. Those two players really, really, I guess, words don't really, they don't need explaining to just how good they are. The ability of both players, very much like Kevin De Bruyne and Granit Xhaka, they all complement each other very well. So I guess that's why I've sided with those type of four, because they're all different in terms of, like, Granit Xhaka and Jorginho are kind of more holding midfielders, and you've got Mason Mount and KDB that are more offensive rather than defensive, whereas the other two are defensive rather than offensive. Moving on from the midfield, going from right to left, from the fabulous front four, I guess 2, 4, 6, 8, I guess, would be, to be quite honest, Raheem Sterling. That doesn't need explaining. I know a lot of it doesn't need explaining, and hopefully it comes across well in the video, but the form that he's shown over the last, say, 3 to 4 years has been nothing short of exemplary. It's nothing short of outstanding, and I believe he's only going to get better and could quite easily move in, maybe in the not so distant future. I don't know. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's up in the air. Don't worry, City fans. Don't worry. He's, as far as you guys and I'm aware, he's happy there, and whatever. And it's cool. It's all good. Partnering him, I say partnering him, but kind of coming in. I could have gone from me personally, I could have gone for one of two players. Chose to go with Bernardo Silva, but I could also quite easily, for the same reasons I've chose Bernardo Silva, could have chose Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez, very, very skillful, but very, very amazingly talented. Very big admirer of all those three players, to be quite honest, but more so Sterling and Mahrez. But I could see myself sort of obviously kind of playing the same role as Bernardo Silva, being as we're sort of similar height. Maybe he's slightly taller, but yeah. We're both short players, low centre of gravity, very much, and obviously Sterling is as well. But they all use their ability to their advantage. I guess the next position is a massive position. Moving kind of swiftly, because obviously I don't want to keep you here any longer than I have to. It's already up to 12 minutes. Oh my god. This is an integral part of the kind of glue of the front four. I've gone with two Englishmen. Yes, you guessed it, Jack Grealish and James Maddison. I was about to say Mason Greenwood. No, he don't get anywhere near this. Neither does Mane's actually in the side, but yeah, spoiler alert, he's obviously there, but there's someone in front of him. You'll have to wait and see who that is. These two players very much workhorses in terms of their team and what their team expects of them. So I think that's outlined in their performances week in, week out. The standard that they set for themselves, they outdo each other and also outdo themselves week in, week out. And that being James Maddison and Jack Grealish, I think them two are going to be an integral part to England's Euro bid, I guess, or Euro push. Now we are experiencing that next year, but I think those two will be an integral part to help one of the strikers that I picked. But before that, left-sided kind of left forward kind of striker type role, left winger, is Aubameyang. Aubameyang, well, I mean, for Arsenal fans, we know just how much he saved us and his goals to game ratio and his work rate off the ball and his everything in between is nothing short of just top drawer. He is top drawer. He's a top drawer player. He is one of them that Arsenal fans only ever so often get to experience, and he's an absolute joy to watch. So an integral part to this team and any team for that matter. I mean, hopefully, I'm praying to every god that's out there that he stays and signs that new contract, because to be quite honest, obviously, I think me personally on that situation, I will do a video on that situation perhaps soon, because now that we're all in lockdown, it's kind of freed up a lot more time. Coming in as a reserve, Sadio Mane, I did mention him obviously before, and he's a reserve, but that's no discredit to him by no means. That's not me personally. It's me personally. I prefer Aubameyang over Mane, and I guess the hype surrounding Mane is, I'm seeing Liverpool players or Liverpool fans, like Liverpool players in the current team, getting compared to Bergkamp and Henry. With all due respect, yes, this Liverpool side is very, very good, but they are not in the class of, and they should never be in a sentence with Bergkamp and Henry. The Bergkamp comparison was Firmino. Yes, he's a good player, but yeah, again, anyway. The striker, I mean, because obviously this has to be one of the easiest options. Kun Aguero, Sergio Kun Aguero. There's, his goals to game ratio this year is the best out of any striker in the Premier League, and along with that, he's just an all-round absolute predator. One of them, he can score goals from any angle, and going with that, his second reserve, or not his reserve, but a reserve for him would be Tammy Abraham. Again, that's why I mentioned the England contingent: Mason Mount, Maddison, Grealish, and obviously Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Abraham, all partner in England, and obviously Sterling as well. So a lot of English in there, and obviously I think that's key for England sort of going forward. But these two strikers are very, very similar in terms of their out-and-out predators, and yeah, I believe so far that has been my team of the season so far in terms of who's performed to such great standard and who's set the standard that needs to be met week in, week out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's going to be it. Leave a like leave a like and comment. Obviously, leave a dislike if for whatever reason you thought this video could have been better, it could have been more condensed down or whatever. But it's all my own thoughts. I just wanted to kind of vocalize it, get it out to you guys, and obviously see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Heart the video on Instagram, like the video on YouTube, and subscribe down here. And yeah, leave a comment on what you want to see next. Now I've got time. Peace.